Is it more control for the government or is it more safety for the community? Stay tuned, we're going to get into it. Hello UK, welcome back to the channel. I'm Pete and nice to have your company again. Thank you ever so much for joining me. So the Online Safety Act has come to light over the weekend, which should be worrying a lot of people out there now. So what we're going to have a look at in this video, we're going to get into it. We're going to have a look at what it means straight from the government website. Could just break down a few things in particular that might be interesting to you if you post content online. So whether that's social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, wherever, this might affect you. So if you do that, stay tuned or get to it. Right, firstly, just this is where I got my information from. The government Online Safety Act explainer. So official. So I'm only reporting what is online and what I think about it, because it's very vague indeed. Now, is this an exercise giving the government more control of what you say, control of how you act, and control of what you do? Or is it what it is on the face value, more safety for children to not be manipulated into different things, whether it just, you can work that out. I mean, ultimately, just before we go on though, I'll be very interested to hear what you think about the Online Safety Act in the comments. So do take a moment to leave a comment. Also, take a moment to subscribe if you're not subscribed, because I know the vast majority watching this don't subscribe. Being a single citizen journalist, trying to balance the books a little bit from what the MSN tried to spoon feed you to what might actually be happening out there with real statistics, real facts, real people. That's what I'm bringing to you. So hopefully I won't fall foul of the Online Safety Act. Anyway, let's get into it. So as I've shown you here, this is point of reference where I've found this information from the GovZone website. Perfect. So what are the new offences that the Act has introduced? So there's a few offences that it's been upgraded ultimately, and here we go. So encouraging or assisting serious self-harm, dangerous. Cyber flashing, never heard of it, but I think it's self-explanatory. Sending false information intended to cause non-trivial harm. Interesting. We'll elaborate on that in a second as a focal point. Threatening communications. Yes, of course, if you threaten someone, whether it's online, in person or whatever, you should be held accountable. No, we don't have behaviour like that. Intimate image abuse. Work that out for yourself. I'm not getting caught up in an algorithm. And epilepsy trolling, which is a new thing to me. I didn't know that existed, so might look into that just out of pure curiosity. Anyway, what I'd like to focus on there is sending false information intended to cause non-trivial harm. So non-trivial harm is obviously nothing grievous or bodily or, mental harm. So what does that mean then? Is that simply offence? So I googled it. I googled that exact sentence, sending false information intended to cause non-trivial harm. What does Google's AI say about it? And it says here, intent to cause harm. The sender must have intended for the message or its content to cause non-trivial psychological or physical harm to a likely audience. That's non-trivial psychological or physical harm to a likely audience. So does that mean if I say something like, I don't think that migrant hotels are a great idea, would that upset the far left, radical left, who think that they are the be all and end all pillars of the community? That would cause some psychological effect, because they vehemently disagree with me about that. So they would have, and they are slightly unhinged anyway, they would have issues with that. So I thought to myself, okay, cool, we'll keep reading down the bill the Online Safety Act, the explainer, on gov.uk's website, official. This is not fake news, this is from the horse's mouth, but it's what I'm interpreting it as is this. So, illegal content. So there's obviously, you can read the screen here, but I'm going to focus on two in particular, because this is where you're going to start to come you're going to be on very, very thin ice if you're a content creator that actually reports about things like protests. Take Epping, for example. That's a protest against migrants in a hotel. Now, the police put in a dispersal order, which means it's likely that there'd be public order offences there, because they wouldn't put a dispersal order in place. Therefore, if you are reporting from there, or bringing a live stream from there, or simply covering it and editing it and delivering it later that day, could you be held liable under this new act? I don't know. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. And then the other thing to look at is the second one that I've highlighted, the illegal immigration and people smuggling. Now, is that showing pictures of people being smuggled, or is that actually talking about the situation of illegal immigration and people smuggling, which is ultimately sometimes goes hand in hand? Now, do we come a cropper by complaining about the amount of small boat arrivals? For instance, last week it was 650-ish. If I say that statistic out, small boats, migrants, illegal migrants, breaking into the country, the first act on arrival is to break the law. Then they're put into a hotel, a migrant hotel. Then they cause crime in a community. A lot of them, not all of them. Let's balance it out here, because Ofcom are regulating content creation using the Online Safety Act as their mallet to come down hard on us if we're not given an imbalanced bias. So there you go. Not all migrants cause crime. Not all migrants are chancers, but the majority of them are. So there you go. And the statistics say it. And where you might disagree with me is their own problem, because they went through a phase of not recording the nationality of migrants that cause crime through fear of civil unrest. Well, guess what? That is right on your doorstep now. Anyway, we'll get back to it. So that was illegal content that has been outlined as illegal content. So anything, the kinds of illegal content and activity that platforms need to protect users from are set out in the Act. And this includes content relating to illegal migration, illegal immigration and people smuggling. There you go, boom. So if you're doing commentary on that, you ain't going to get any views. And I'll tell you, if this video bombs, that's proof in the pudding. Right then, so I thought, this is an explainer document, is this the final whip? So I typed in Ofcom's publication of final codes and guidance, and it says here, you can see within their own website post in the red, it will be by the end of this year. So this Online Safety Act that's coming now, would there be a claim against us commentators because the Act isn't official yet? Or is it going to be backdatable, which means they're going to have a massive net catching a lot of content creators in a big backdated soiree? So I'm concerned. I'm really concerned about it. Anyway, who is it going to apply to? Because I've just mentioned content creators, that says sort of YouTubers, but there are people who actively do their activism on social media posts, on Instagram posts and reels and all sorts of stuff. So the Act applies to anyone that allows users to post content online. That's the platforms. Or that allow the interaction of each other. That's us. Because where we have our comments or our live chat, that's facilitating people to interact with each other based on the content that you are putting out, be it illegal immigration, be it fluffy unicorns, be it torch batteries, whatever whatever tickles your fancy. The UK, so it even applies to companies outside of the UK that release content into the UK. So if you're in America, if you're in Europe, if you're in Australia, if you're in the Far East, if you're in wherever, and you're broadcasting, like what's his name, Harry Sultana, he's from Australia, broadcast. I watch him all the time. It's brilliant. If you're Sky News, if you're doing Lefties Losing It, I can't get enough of that either. YouTube that with Rita, then they can be taken out for broadcasting or creating and releasing content into the UK market that depictates from those items that we talked about before, illegal immigration or people smuggling or whatever it may be, religiously aggrieved public orders and whatnot. So look, just take it steady out there. Just take a moment to think about what you're posting, about what your content is, because they're coming after you if you mess up. Here on the slide here, in the picture, and I'll put this up at the end, is what they're going to do. So Category 1 services will be removing certain types of misinformation and disinformation if they're prohibited in their terms of services, which is very broad in its own right. It basically gives some wit behind a desk in Whitehall the ability to say, don't like that, don't like that, it's a bit risky, and there you go, boom, gone, done, out. So I'll leave this to you guys to read and have a ganders at. And on that note, I'll bid you good day and I'll speak to you on the next video. Take it easy. That's Pete from MV UK.